Hi, my name is Ryan Power and welcome to this special presentation for the virtual hair and beauty show all about email, and more specifically the two types of email that you should never send to your clients, which you might be sending right now, and the 5 emails that you most definitely should. Now, let's start with a mercifully short introduction in case you have no idea who I am. My name is Ryan Power. I'm a beauty business coach, best-selling author and marketing geek. And I front up with my wife, Holly, our coaching brand, Salonology, which is a group coaching program which we've been running now for, this is our 7th year, in fact. As I mentioned, I'm a best-selling author as well. My book, The Customer is Always Right, and 7.5 Other Outdated Myths which are destroying your beauty business. It was a bestseller on Amazon. But more importantly, also I needed you to know that also I'm a beauty business owner, just like you. This picture here, this is taken from our day spa and salon, which actually we sold at the beginning of 2020, having owned it for more than a decade. So everything that I'm going to talk about today is stuff which it's real life stuff. It's stuff which we've actually implemented in our own day spa and salon. This isn't stuff which has been taken out of some marketing textbook. It's stuff that works. We have seen it work. We've implemented it in our own businesses, as well as the hundreds of businesses who we coach as well. And just to prove that, and to prove I know what I'm talking about, you can see these stats were taken earlier this year. We have sent more than 1 million emails now, which is quite bonkers, more than 1 million emails. So I'd like to think I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to email. So the 2 types of email you should never send, and 5 that you most definitely should. Ready? I hope you've got a pen and some paper handy, because you're going to want to take some notes. So let's start with the 2 types of email that you should never ever send, beginning with the first one, with the newsletter. Yes, a newsletter. Now, I know that you might have seen before that you've got to have a newsletter and you've got to keep in touch with your clients, but I'm going to show you and explain now why that method doesn't work anymore. And maybe you have sent emails like this in the past. Certainly, you probably recognize that sort of email. No doubt your inbox gets flooded with these types of emails, just as mine does as well. But here's a question for you. Would you rather receive an email from one of your friends, or would you rather receive a newsletter from a supermarket? Now, of course, it's a silly question because we'd all rather receive emails from our friends, but therefore that kind of begs the question, why in that case are we mimicking the supermarkets? Those newsletter type emails which so many salons send, I see them all the time. We are hardwired as human beings to want to open, read, and enjoy the type of emails that we receive from our friends. Kind of makes sense, really, doesn't it? So why aren't we doing more to model this type of email as opposed to the newsletter style? And you know what I mean when I say a newsletter style. They've got big pictures all over it, sometimes even flashing imagery, big fonts, all those sorts of things. Here are a few reasons why these simply don't work anymore. They once did, but they don't anymore. To begin with, they get stuck in filters. The clever email servers like Gmail and Hotmail and Outlook, they know what a newsletter is. They also know that most people don't want to receive them anymore. So they sniff them out and they stick them in the promotions folder or in the junk folder or in the dreaded spam folder, and your clients never get to read them. They also increasingly don't look good on mobile devices. They might look great when you're designing them on your desktop, but often when they then come through on a mobile, and hugely more popular is it to open email on mobile now than on desktop, they don't always represent that well over on the mobile device. The images often don't load, and then you just get a big white box with a cross in it, which looks totally silly, undoing all of your hard design work. And they are often viewed by your clients as a thinly veiled sales pitch. You see them, don't you? You get them from the supermarkets, you get them from all the big high street retailers, and they are a thinly veiled sales pitch because you know on there somewhere they're going to try and send you to their shop. They're going to maybe try and tempt you in with some sort of offer, but you can bet there'll be something for sale in every single one. Clients cotton onto this and eventually they stop opening them. And the sad reality and fact about it is that people don't care about your newsletter. They probably don't really care about your news either. Most people only care about themselves, about their needs, their wants, their desires, their problems, and maybe how you can help them with them. So, you know that you don't want to send a newsletter anymore, okay? Here's what to do instead. And good news, guys, because this is easier, it's quicker, it's less expensive to do. You don't need fancy programming to do it. But instead, what you can do is if you currently send a newsletter, and typically it's divided up into sections, simply split each bit of that news into 4 plain text weekly emails. So instead of sending out 1 newsletter a month, you send out one every single week, but they are plain text. That means no pictures. That means no flashing imagery. It's written as if your friend had written an email to you, written in that style that we all have come to know and love and open, most importantly, okay? It's the same information, it's just delivered in a different format. Here's why this works better. It's more personal, okay? People buy people. So you want to be opening up a little bit to your audience. You want to be showing your personality. You want to be showing that there's a human being behind your brand, because people ultimately buy from people and not from brands. This will help you in turn to then build real relationships. How can you build a relationship with a newsletter? Most people have got absolutely zero when it comes to empathy from newsletters they receive. We don't have any feeling toward them. There's no emotion in there. It's very, very difficult to build a relationship. And people actually want to know the person behind the brand. A lot of people try and hide behind their brand. They think that people want to deal with massive companies. They kind of write it in a way that implies that they've got lots more staff than they have, or they've got bigger premises that they have. And actually, that doesn't work. Plus, one of the key benefits is that you get to stay front of mind because you're sending with recency and regularity. Not all of your emails are going to be opened. Not all of them are going to be read. And not even all of them are going to be delivered. So if you're only sending 1 a month, actually, your clients might only be seeing your name and your company message every few months. And in today's attention poor society where everyone is fighting for attention and eyeballs, that isn't regular enough. So if you're sending every week, then it means you've got a much, much better chance of getting your message in front of your client, especially at the right time when they're ready to take action. So that's the first type, the newsletter. Let's stop sending those. The second type of email that you should never send is what I call the constant promoter. And you know these emails, right? Because there are certain people, you're probably subscribed to some of their email lists, and you know that every time you open an email from them, there's going to be something for sale. A bit like there is in the newsletter, but whether it's sent in that format or not, you know there's going to be something for sale. So there are 2 types of these. There's one where it's just offers all the time. Offer, 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 offer. And the other one is the one where it's space availability all the time. Or we've got 3 more spaces, 4 more spaces, okay? And this applies to social media as well, because I see this all the time, people putting up posts where it's only 3 more appointments tomorrow. I've got these 6 dates available on Friday. And sometimes even worse than that, it's Friday, I've got 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, right? what message is this sending to your clients? Not the right message, I would suggest, okay? Is it telling them that they should just wait until you've got an offer? Because when you condition your clients to believe that every time you send an email, there's going to be an offer in there, they're going to wait, aren't they? Some of them are going to wait for that next email to arrive, thinking that if they hold fire long enough, they're going to get some sort of an offer. And of course, when you're doing these offers and these discounts, typically the bit you're giving away is your profit. So you don't want to be doing that, certainly not all the time. Maybe you're also conditioning them to believe they never need to book an appointment. Because if you're saying to people, Friday you can have 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, why ever make a reservation or an appointment? Because they're going to be thinking, oh, just wait, they've always got free diary space, so I don't need to book an appointment. I'll just turn up on Friday, whether or not I feel like it. And that's not good news for your business. Picture the holiday scene, okay? Imagine if you're on holiday, you're down in Marbs with the girls, right? And you're walking down the high street. There's two restaurants, you know nothing about either of them, either side of the road, facing one another. Now, one of them is heaving. It's fully booked. There's people queuing to get in there. And the one on the other side of the road is empty and there's not a soul in there. Which one are you going to go into? Now, most people would choose the busy one, okay? Why? Well, because you're thinking, what do all those people know that I don't? Or what do people know about the empty one that I don't? So again, if you're putting up posts saying, I'm empty, I'm empty, I'm empty, I'm empty, I'm empty, almost looking desperate, that doesn't send the right message to your clients and your future clients. And if you're doing this forever in your emails, eventually they just won't be opened anymore. So here's how you can frame that instead, because you might still want to do some sort of offer every now and then, or you might still want to genuinely let people know that you've got some last minute availability that you're wanting to do. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying be careful in the way that you do it, okay? So here's what you can do instead. Let's say, for argument's sake, you have got 2 slots left this coming Friday afternoon that you want to fill, and you're a hairdresser, and what you can do is you can send out a value-filled email. So by value-filled, I mean an email that's helpful, a helpful email for your clients. It might be an email about 5 ways that you can look after your hair in between salon visits, or 3 things you can do to make sure your hair stays strong in the winter. Okay, whatever it might be, but a value-filled email, something which is actually helpful to your clients. And then, after you have given them real value, you can then add a little PS on the bottom, okay? PS, if you would like the salon experience this week, we've got last-minute availability on Friday at 2 p.m. We've only got 2 spaces. Email me if you want one. Something along those lines. But can you see how that's more powerful than just sending out an email saying, we've got slots Friday. Anyone will do. We're desperate. It's all about how you position that to make sure that you've got the maximum impetus with your clients. Okay, so they're the 2 emails you should never send. Here are 5 you most definitely should. The first type of email you absolutely should send to your clients is the client case study email. Now, reviews are great. In fact, reviews are essential to your business. However, case studies are even better. A case study is like a review on steroids, okay? And the purpose of this is to make a hero out of your clients. It is about your client and their journey and not about you. And the purpose and the sort of psychology behind this and why it works is because other people who then read this case study or watch the case study video, if you get it videoed, they see that and they want that transformation for themselves. Way more powerful, really powerful way to do it. Plus, of course, the client is going to absolutely love it as well. So here's a formula that you can try. To begin with, you need to tell the story of where the client came from. That is, what were they struggling with? What was their problem? What was their pain point before you met them or before they came in to see you, okay? It's really important as well that you know how they felt prior to your solution. So for example, let's say you offer cryolipolysis, fat freezing. It might be that the client tells the story initially before they found you about how they felt, they didn't feel sexy and they didn't feel desired by their other half, and they felt sluggish, whatever it might be. Then you would go on to explain what you did and why you did it. Okay, so we then did a package or a course of 6 cryolipolysis treatments over 8 months or whatever it might have been, and we did that because the client had this issue and that issue, and we figured that was the best solution for their needs, right? Then the result they achieved, with pictures, if possible, and with the client's authority, and then how they feel about themselves now. Now, you will notice that the word feel has appeared twice there, and that's because it's so key. It's all about tapping into the emotions of the client, because you want future clients to also want to feel in that same way. So again, in the cryolipolysis situation, it might be, how do you feel about yourself now? I feel amazing. I've had a new lease of life. I'm so much more confident. All my friends have commented. I've never felt better. And you can guarantee that other people are going to see that, and they're going to want that for themselves. And they're going to know that if they want that for themselves, they're going to need to get in touch with you, right? So you can then offer others that same transformation with a clear call to action. Do you want the same transformation that Julie experienced? Reach out to me. We've got capacity to take on 3 more clients this month, or whatever it might be, whatever makes sense to you. Okay, the second type of email that you absolutely should send to your clients is the storyteller email. Now, we have all been conditioned to respond to stories from a very young age. Think back to when you were little. It was the last thing, wasn't it, before we went to bed every night. Mum or dad would read us a story to send us to sleep, right? That is deeply, deeply ingrained in our brain, and we still now respond to stories. Don't be afraid to pull back the curtain a little bit, because these can be personal stories as much as they can business-related stories. Again, if your clients know you as an individual and like you and trust you, they are far more likely to want to come and do business with you and your business than if they don't know who you are. Particularly if up to now you're sending faceless newsletter style emails, okay? And these stories can be about any topic. It might be about something that happened in the salon this week. It might be what happened when you took little Maggie to school last Thursday. It might be how you had to take little Timmy the chinchilla to the vet. It could be absolutely anything. Stories are happening always, every single day. There are potential new stories being formed, and people will be interested in this, okay? People, as I said, people buy people, okay? And not only that, but you're going to stand out, because guess what? Your competition aren't doing this. They're sending the flipping newsletter emails, aren't they? So how different will you look by taking a completely different approach? And I promise you this works, especially as a long-term strategy. You also might want to use open loops and cliffhangers in your stories, okay? And an open loop, if you're not sure what that means, is basically you would send an email over 2 parts, and on part 1, you start to tell the story, and then you say, if you want to find out what happens, I'll be sending you an email tomorrow, okay? Think Gavin and Stacey Christmas special 2019. It was like the ultimate cliffhanger, wasn't it? How long they're going to keep us on said cliff, who knows? Okay, number 3, the third type of email that you should be sending to your clients is what I call the "is everything okay?" Is everything okay? Is everything okay? And you use this for those clients you've not seen in a while. Now, it's 2020 and the world has changed a little bit, hasn't it? This latter part of 2020. And you might have lots of clients that you haven't seen in a while because not all clients have come back to the salons as everyone had hoped. So, therefore, this is a perfect way to re-engage some of those clients who you know haven't been in to see you. And again, your booking software will probably be able to tell you who these people are, particularly the good ones will. They'll be able to let you know when your clients have been in and therefore when they haven't, okay? Now, here is a really, really interesting point to note, and you might want to write this down. It is 6 times easier and less expensive to get an existing client to return than it is to attract a new one. I'm going to repeat that. It's 6 times easier and less expensive to get an existing client to return than it is to attract a new one. And what that means, it means you should be concentrating on those clients who have already been in to see you once, because it's going to be easier to get them back than it is to attract someone new. So this is where this email comes into its own. All you're going to do is you're simply going to check in with them because you've not seen them in a while, right? I mean, why wouldn't they have returned? Okay, you know, they leave your salon happy. 3 months later, you've not seen them again. As a business owner, you should want to know why they haven't come back. I know I would want to know why. Okay, you should want to know why as well. And you've got to grasp this as well, okay? You want to write this down. As a business owner, it's our job to remind people to come and do business with us, okay? It's not their job to remember. People are busy. Everyone is busy right now, aren't they? In the 21st century, everyone is busy. No one's got any time. Everyone's rushed off their feet. That is why some clients require, let's call them multiple nudges, shall we, to make sure they come back in to come and see you again. But the purpose of this is that it comes from a place of caring and not from a place of selling, okay? Haven't seen you in a while. I just wanted to make sure, is everything okay? How are you doing, right? Not, haven't seen you in a while, do you want to come and book an appointment? Necessarily. You would lead on to that after they've replied, right? It's got to come from a place of caring and not a place of selling. The fourth type of email that you should be sending is what I call the expert email, okay? And this is all about positioning you as the expert in your field, which of course you are. Your business can explode when you position yourself as an expert. Let's have a look why. What are the advantages of being an expert? Well, this one will get your attention. To begin with, they can charge more, okay? When someone is positioned as the go-to expert, people expect to pay more money, okay? Why wouldn't you want to charge the maximum that you can, particularly in our industry where most people grossly undersell themselves? They also experience less price resistance. Okay, you don't get people trying to barter with you and try and knock you down on price when you're positioned as the expert. No one's going to go into Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and say, oh yeah, hi Gordon, I'd like the filet mignon, please. And then when they present with the price, go, oh, I'll tell you, I'll give you a tenner for it. Would you accept 15 quid for cash, Gordon? No, I wouldn't. Get out. You also get more opportunities in business, but also outside of that as well. You will find that you get asked for your opinion. You will find other businesses want to collaborate with you. You might find that local newspapers are interested in you all of a sudden. You get less cancellations and no-shows, okay? You get more referrals, okay? People want to tell their friends that they go to the expert salon, right? Because that does something for them, doesn't it? It makes them feel important that they managed to get in with you. They're going to be keen to tell their friends about that. Plus, you get a much, much better response to your recommendations, i.e. people are more likely to buy your retail. Do not underestimate how much you know. You know more than 99.9% of the average people walking up and down the street, okay? Joe or Joanne, public, you know more than 99.9% of them. It might be that because you are so immersed in our industry that you're comparing your knowledge with your peers and those around you, whereas the reality, of course, is that your clients know far, far less. You've gone through years of training. You've got numerous qualifications, training courses, experience, all these things. This all comes together to help position you as the expert. And the way that you do this in your email is simply by sharing your knowledge. So you might be recording and then sharing in your email videos you've done. You might want to do a how to do something, a bit like I mentioned earlier. A simple email coming out going, oh, if you need to do skincare routines in between your facial treatments, here's how to do an at-home facial in 5 steps, costing you less than £10. Whatever it might be, okay? You could do top tip lists. That's not easy to say. Top tip lists, okay? You might want to share some insider secrets, or people love that. Inside knowledge, people absolutely go crazy for that. You might want to share the blogs that you've written. Any time that you've been published, even on your own website, people see that as a trigger for authority. People will listen. And again, their opinion of you will increase as a result. And actually just anything really which positions you as the expert. For most people, all they need to do is claim that position for themselves. It typically will not be bestowed upon you. You just have to have the confidence to go and grab it. And for extra marks as well, you can repurpose that content. So, for example, if you've written a long-form Facebook post, you could turn that same information into a video. You could turn that same information into a handful of Instagram posts, that same information into a blog post, whatever it might be. Okay, the 5th email that you should be sending to your clients is the "Are you still interested?" email. And again, this one is super relevant right now because this is the easiest way to reignite those inquiries which went nowhere. You've all had these, I know you have. These are the ones where someone messages you and they say, "Hiya, I'm interested in some lashes. Can you book me in for Friday?" And you go back to them and you say, "Yeah, I've got some space on Friday. I can do 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Which is best for you?" And then nothing. You never hear from them again. Where did they go? Where did they go, right? So let's see if we can't do something with these, because these people a lot of the times are still going to be interested, right? They just got busy. Life almost certainly got in their way, and that's why they didn't take action. So again, you can go back to them, but once more, it's got to come from a place of caring and not from a place of selling. But actually, you owe it to your clients to do this. You also owe it to yourself, and you certainly owe it to your business, because you've probably got a whole load of money there that should be in your till, which is sat in inquiries which haven't yet made a booking. Now, would you like to see the outrageously simple template for this? Okay, and it really is simple. Here we go. It's, "Hey, name, are you still interested in service or treatment?" Okay, I told you it was simple, and it works, right? And that's it. That's the whole email. "Hey, Julie, are you still interested in that lash lift?" Out it goes, and you leave it there. And you wait for Julie to come back to you, and you will find that when you send this short email, what will happen is you'll get an awful lot of clients who reply saying, "Oh my gosh, yes I am so sorry, but what happened was little Jimmy fell over in the playground. I had to take him to hospital because he had a really badly grazed knee, and then I completely forgot. And then when I got home, I had an argument with the husband, and then we had parent-teacher evening, and life just got in the way. Can you believe it?" Yes, I can, because it happens to everyone. So, there we go. They are the 5 emails you should send, and the 2 you absolutely shouldn't. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Please follow me on Instagram. It's Ryan Power. Also, if you would like a free copy of my book, look, it's a real book. You can have a copy of this. If you just cover the postage, I'll send you a copy out for free as a thank you for enjoying this presentation. You can just go to our website, which is https://salonology.uk/free-book, and I will send you this real, actual, physical book. Plus, you can come and follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/salonologyuk. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. If you've got any questions about this or you need some help with your emails, then fire me a message on Instagram. I'd be delighted to help you. I promise you what I've gone through today works. We've got hundreds of coaching clients that have done this exact thing, and they have noticed their open rates go through the roof and their bookings increase as a result. And the best thing is it costs next to nothing to put it in place. I hope you take action on what I've talked about today. I hope you get great value from that too. And I look forward to seeing you again. I'm Ryan Power. Thanks for watching.